Yeah, it's your boy I Wanna Be Tracer here.
Be Tracer.
I'm already Tracer.
What about Widowmaker?
I'm already Widowmaker.
I love Tracer.
Watch the entire installation video before modifying your headset and adapters to avoid any misstep like destroying your wires, which would prevent you from looking like a fake Navy SEAL. I haven't really seen any other Peltor 3M arc rail adapter installation videos other than the fantastic vid made by Late After Night. Check out his amazing video. Of course, being an arrogant, self-absorbed YouTuber, I needed to redo the video for more views and monetization. All honesty, this video is just an updated, in-depth step-by-step tutorial so you guys follow along easily and don't mess up on installing your Peltor arc rail adapters, especially for those of you who don't speak English. And this also somewhat covers for all the newer helmet systems other than OpsCore, as well as more information on headsets that are added onto modern helmet setups. Disclaimer: as I just mentioned, this is for Peltor Comtacs and or any other 3M related hearing devices. The methods shown here will not work the same way with Sordins or Liberators, but for anyone who owns those headsets, please refer to the Unity Tactical or Iron Forged Concepts videos, as those pertain specifically to that brand as they are entirely different in setting up than Comtacs. I'll link those videos in the description. The same steps here in this video also works with the Team Wendy I Know Who They Hosted Peltor headset adapter and also their quick release adapter kit. You'll probably have to follow these steps if you are planning to use Comtacs with the MTEK Flux, 3M Ballistic Bump, Revision Cayman, and the Cry Precision Airframe. And again, please watch the entire installation video before installing your adapters to avoid a misstep. I'm not liable if you mess up your own property. If you're fantastic with following written instructions, 3M has included an instruction sheet with an installation process. I read like a slow kid in an advanced Spanish class, and words make me as blind as Ray Charles, so if you like visuals, please follow along with this step-by-step process. This step might be necessary. Step 0. Literally don't be an inept troglodyte and try to attach the adapters when you have other gear on the rails. You want to look cool for your Instagram selfie shots, so don't scratch up your arc rails. Remove everything on said rails to provide clearance for this installation. But just like having the choice to use a condom, you don't have to do it. Step Numero Uno. This step is for people who own the headband and neckband version Comtacs. Grab your Comtacs. You'll need to remove the headband to attach the earpieces to the adapters. You're going to have to cut the leather fabric that is covering the wiring on the headband. 3M actually have the outside wiring stitched into a separate section on the headband, so you don't accidentally cut the wire. There's also rubber keepers or friction sleeves on both sides holding the wiring. You will have to cut those as well or slide them off by removing the microphone posts. Cut along the separated section of the headband that houses the wire. Same goes with the neckband version, except there's a rubber tubing and a metal guide holding the wire. A lot of people who install the adapters don't mention this, but you could reuse the headband, so keep it if you ever decide to switch back to just a headset without the adapters. I'll speak more about reusing the headband later in this video. Step 2. Disconnect the earpieces from the headband by tilting the earpieces 90 degrees. You'll feel tension when you turn the earpieces, and it somewhat sounds like a snap when they are moving in the correct direction, so use that as an indicator for knowing that the earpieces are in the correct placement for removal. Once turned, the earpieces will be loose and there's a thin guide where you can see that the earpieces are able to disconnect. Push down away from the headband and the earpieces come off. For comm users, you'll have to disconnect your microphone from the guide on the headband. You don't have to remove the wire from the earpieces itself unless you want to switch the microphone on the opposite side. Also, remove the rubber end cap that is on the opposite microphone post, as you'll need said cap for the arc rail adapters. Step 3. Get your 3M arc rail adapters, and before you install, make sure you have the correct directions set up as they are a left and right pair. The shorter post on the adapter should be facing to the rear, and the microphone post is the longer portion that should be facing towards the front when on your helmet. Again, when you align your earpieces with the adapters, make sure the corresponding earpiece matches with the same direction of the adapter. Left earpiece with left adapter, right earpiece with right adapter. Again, tilt the earpieces in a 90-degree formation and push the earpieces in the adapters. There will be a lot of force needed as new arc rail adapters are as tight as a horny preteen girl learning about the girth of vegetables, so you'll need to apply a lot of pressure to make the earpieces go in. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're using comms, place the correct position of where you want the microphone or boom mic to be on the headset and attach it in the microphone post on the arc rail adapters. Using that rubber end cap from the original leather headband that you removed earlier, place it on the microphone post opposite of the post with the boom mic. Step 4. Actually attaching the adapters to your helmet. This is for users that have arc rails and not for Team Wendy or MTEK or Revision K-Men Gay Men, as they pretty much have screw-on attachments for their adapters. With arc rails, you have to slide the adapters on, so again, super useful to follow step 0 of this video and remove everything on your arc rails before installing the adapters. Disclaimer: if you're not using arc rails from OpsCore or Gentex, knockoff helmets from companies like Hardhead Veterans, Bulletproof It, or Airsoft Replicas might have trouble sliding on the arc rails as some are not 1-to-1 spec. So be careful when installing, as some could require a lot of pressure to slide the adapters on, which can possibly destroy or scratch your knockoff arc rails. Again, align the arc rail adapters with your helmet system's rails and apply pressure to slide the adapters on. The adapters have hooks to click into place with the arc rails, so use that as a guideline for assuring that your adapters are seated correctly and aligned. You could even mount the adapters on the rear arc rails if needed. Also important, make sure the arc rail adapters are placed on the rail according to how comfortable it is for you, as everyone has a different head size. This is to assure that your headset properly seals around your ears. And again, this is based on your head sizing, but also is dependent on what helmet system you are using. Just be careful of the way your arc rail adapters are attached, because if you don't have proper sealing around your ears, you're better off doubling up on ear protection so you don't end up as deaf as Helen Keller. Step 5. Guiding, covering your helmet wire. This is important for all helmet users, so you avoid having your Comtac wires caught up. Each headset from Peltor has their own form of wires that connect the earpieces, like the headset, neckband, or hearing defenders. If you're using a helmet cover, you could hide your wires underneath the cover to prevent it from moving around. If you don't own a helmet cover, you have multiple options. You can purchase a Lid Snake Mark II from Spiritus Systems that covers your wires and protects it. Though you'll have to attach loop velcro to your helmet so the lid snake stays in place. This also applies to users that have a helmet cover but don't want to run their wires underneath said cover. It's pretty cool as it comes in all smexy multicam patterns from thick Caleb Cry. Or just use duct tape. Another option is you could wrap it around a counterweight or night vision battery pack. If you have any form of counterweight or holder that has individual cells, you could route the wire through there for better cable management. Products like the TNVC Mohawk Counterweight Series or the SPL NVG Lanyard and the Chemlite battery holder from T-Rex Arms are amazing ways to manage your comms wire via cells. The final option to cover your Comtac wires is to route them in the interior of your helmet. You can either have them covered by your padding, which is somewhat easy when you have padding systems similar to Team Wendy Epic or the OpsCore Lux liner, as they cover the entire shell. If you don't have those liners, you could also use duct tape or Rapist gaffer's tape, something with a super strong adhesive because some tapes can loosen. I don't have any images of wires that are taped, but most padding can cover your comm wires. Worst case is that you could apply additional industrial adhesive velcro to route your wires underneath while still being able to attach padding. The adapters can move either forwards or backwards and can pop off and onto your ears, so you'll have to accommodate for the spacing of the wire when the headset turns or comes off. Don't hide the entire wire system because the Comtac wire needs some leeway for that movement. Step 6. This is more of a step for removal than the installation, but as I stated earlier, keep your headset band intact and you could reinstall the earpieces onto it in case you change your mind, or you have to switch off from a helmet with adapters to solely a headset. If you're like me and broke 24/7, you could use electric tape or Velcro to hold the contact wire in the same leather area you cut from earlier. If looks bother you, you could always cover it with a headband cover from NES Workshop, A&A Tactical, Peroz Designs, Faro Concepts, Combat Systems, OC Tactical, or SOE Gear. Though the best option is the Peltor Comtac Headband, which is basically their upgraded rubber headband that they have with most of their hunting or recreational shooting headsets. That headband can be taken on and off and can route contact wires through the top if you want to switch back and forth between the adapters and a headband. This is an upgrade that they don't include from the factory, so these Swedes can steal more of your hard-earned shekels. One final issue to note is that if you're using the Peltor Comtac neckband versions, the wires can't fit into the headband because they're as long as an Asian penis. Anyways, as much as I want to walk into traffic and don't care about life, I want to know what your favorite communication headset is and how you set up your helmets. Feel free to comment down below thinking that your opinion actually matters. Thanks, and I love you all. Peace.